So, how dare a girl live alone in a dark old house? Anyway, her name was Binchotan. Binchotan is a young girl who lives by herself in an old house far from town. As her name suggests, she often wears a piece of charcoal on her head. She is assumed to be an orphan because she lives by herself. She lives alone in that whole room with no one with her. Of course, where she lives, the environment is very calm. There is no disturbance in the neighborhood. There are no people. It shows how much life she is able to live there. She is very small, but she has no enemies. They seem to get along well. After that, she dressed herself well as usual and understood herself well. It is also necessary to control herself. The charcoal on her head became so heavy that she suddenly turned and fell. She then sat up again and began to think that it was her fault. Sad news is that her grandmother died long ago as she lives alone. She has to do everything alone, even cooking herself. Now she is growing rice and asks how to wash and clean it well. The rice was washed. Now there will be rice ready to need few hours, but something else must be eaten with the rice. Now she went outside to collect vegetables for her. At first, she went some distance and stopped to drink some water from the spring, which satisfied her. It is very difficult to go far, so she calmed herself down a bit. The vegetables she went to fetch were found in the jungle across the river. But how would she cross it? She went a little further and sat on tree root and waited for some ducks. The ducks would help her cross the river. She had many abilities to be little herself, and she sat on duck's back as she crossed the river. How beautiful. She sat on the duck back and slowly began to cross the river and looked around at what a beautiful scene. After landing, she thanked the ducks with some leaves, then go a little further and see what a beautiful big place it is. There are many types of vegetables. Then she slowly started gathering the vegetables and went some distance when she suddenly saw a snake moving in front of her, and for a moment she got scared and stopped. Then she hurried back to the house and washed the vegetables well and started cooking from the charcoal on her head. By that time, the outer clothes were dry. The clothes she was picking up were so beautifully dry. They became soft and warm. She hugged them and slept there. After that, the cooking started and the fire was lit. Now the cooking is going on. Now it is waiting out. Now the cooking will increase. As soon as the cooking was over, she tied the charcoal on her head again. What a strange thing. Then when the cooking was over, when she put the first rice on her mouth, didn't she feel very happy? How much trouble she was getting to eat a little bit of rice cooked. The next day, when she woke up again in the morning, she was ready to do everything. The rice was all over, and she started thinking about what to do to eat that day. Then she realized she had to go to the city to work. Then she took a seed in her hand and she started walking towards the road, where she had to catch a bus to go to the city. How to catch the bus, she went to the bus stand and waited for a long time. A large bird came out of the jungle to take her away. She was frightened at the sight of it, then grabbed her and carried her away towards the city. She thanked the bird by giving seed when she was dropped off in the city. Then he went to the city and started looking for a job. There were many job posts, but people were standing around the board. She was so small that she couldn't see anything. After few times letter. Then among all the jobs that people were throwing away that they didn't need, she found good work in them and started doing it, and were very happy with it. No matter what kind of work she was doing, she could do it all because she had the ability to minimize herself, which would clear her well. Owner was so happy with her work that the owner gave her some extra rice after the last payment, and she was very happy to receive it. After that, on the way home, she admires some panties featuring pukashu. She stood looking at them for a long time. The owner of that shop could not see it and asked her to come inside, but cannot afford them. She was getting upset for a while. However, she finds a pair on sale featuring her second favorite character, Tamakairu, which makes her very happy. She returns home and after a meal has happy dreams. She was having so much fun seeing the dream that she was just flying with them. What a great story. Please subscribe our channel for more interesting stories like this.